In lesson 7.5, we're going to put together all of the tools that you have in order to solve a variety of trig problems. So this lesson is really, really short. It's just a reminder of how to go about solving a whole variety of problems. First thing always in a trig problem is to draw your triangle in a sketch format, being sure to label the right angle. This triangle might be turned based on the nature of the question. Just set up your problem. Identify very clearly any angles that you know. Okay, so you're going to label this diagram with everything you possibly can. Maybe you know the degrees of this angle or this one. Make sure you've got some vertices labeled. It doesn't have to be ABC, it can be any letters you wish, but then that allows you to have some reference points. If you know some side lengths, little a, little b, little c, right? Add those in. And then if it's a problem that says, solve the triangle, maybe you need to solve for more than one thing, then give yourself sort of that checklist of things that you need to find, right? And as you solve each one, cross it off your grocery list, get her done. And then you'll make sure not to miss anything that you're being asked to solve for. I want to clarify in some of the problems that are in the textbook some terminology that they use just so that you're able to set up these sketches. The first thing is something called angle of elevation. So if you can imagine an x-axis as the horizontal axis, or even think of the horizon where the sun comes up or goes down every day, if you have an angle from which you are starting at the horizon and measuring upward like this, this is called an angle of elevation because it's being elevated away from the ground. Okay. In a similar fashion, you may see some problems that talk about an angle of depression, and for that, again, you start at 0 here, the horizontal, and measure downward in this fashion. So from 0 downward means you're looking at an angle of depression in here. And so I just want to clarify those two terms for you before you head into the practice. Okay. Another thing that you may find useful when you're solving problems is to have your friendly acronym handy too. Your friendly SOCATOA at the top of your practice pages so that you can identify which of these 3 new trig tools you need to use in order to solve for a variety of angles and side lengths. Some other tools that you still have in your toolkit too are the fact that you know that angle A and angle B and angle C, especially if I'm referring to this triangle, all have to add up to 180 degrees. That is still a useful tool. But at this point, looking at little a squared plus b squared equals c squared, Pythagorean theorem, is still a good tool, but it has nothing to do with angles inside a triangle, and it's only useful if you know 2 things and you're solving for the third. It's a lot longer of a way to solve for a side than using SOCATOA tools. And again, remember that SOCATOA tools are only good for right triangles. Okay, they cannot be used for any other triangles that do not have a 90-degree angle in them. So, in the next few lessons, we will learn about some more tools we can add to your trig toolkit that enable us to solve for angles and side lengths in triangles that are not 90 degrees. I'll see you then.